Hello and welcome to our special broadcast on Akshaya Tritiya. Well, it is said that gold, silver or jewellery that you buy on Akshaya Tritiya brings you good sense and prosperity going forward. Is the reason even as the gold prices are so high, there is an expectation that we could be looking at a surprise number on the higher side. Lesser than the average though, because when you look at Akshaya Tritiya in past many years, the average gold bought during this time is to the tune of 18 to 20 tons. But now, because the prices are at ₹1,00,000 per 10 grams, the expectation is that this buying could drop to nearly 12 to 15 tons. Well, that chart tells you on what the gold prices have been on Akshaya Tritiya in various years behind. And as you can see that the gold has been making higher highs going forward. The expectation also is that by the time it's next Akshaya Tritiya, you could be looking at even higher numbers. So last year at same time, gold prices were trading at around 72,000. Now they're trading at around 96 to 97,000 rupees per 10 grams. That has been a 24,000 rupees per 10 grams of a surge that we've seen in case of gold. Not just gold, a lot of people also buy silver during this time, and silver actually is being bought more because gold is so expensive. So when you look at the silver prices, and as you can see, it has been ranging between that 60s to 70,000 rupees a kg. But this year, in the month of March, we've seen silver prices trade above ₹1,00,000 a kg as well. Some profit taking, and that perhaps could benefit during the Akshaya Tritiya. Well, there are various ways that you can buy gold, and the most favorite clearly has been buying it by the physical way. So when it comes to jewelry, bars and coins, that is how the gold is bought the most. But now, of course, you also are looking at gold ETFs, where the buying really has picked up. The gold ETF buying actually in the first quarter of this year has been the highest in 3 years. And then it also has been about gold mutual funds, and the millennials and the youngsters are also buying gold by the way of digital gold. This is the performance that tells you on how gold really has been. And this year, we've seen gold prices gain up by 27%. Last year was 28%. In 2023, we saw 15% of gains coming for the gold prices. Much of this support clearly comes in from the global central bank buying, which has been holding at a record above 1,000 tons every year. And there are no different expectations from 2025, where the markets believe that this is the number that you could see breaching this year as well. Well, the expectation is that going forward, you could be looking at higher gold prices. Well, at least that is what most of the global banks and brokerages are talking about. So whether you look at Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, Citi, Goldman Sachs, they're talking about prices of $3,500 to $3,800 an ounce in this year. And almost everybody is talking about $4,000 an ounce of a possibility in 2026 to between 2028. So with those kind of numbers, the expectation is that you could be looking at more confidence in Indian buyers. And because it's an auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya, there could be more buyers going forward. Well, joining us to take all of this story ahead is Suvankar. He's MD and CEO at Senco Gold and Diamonds. Also joining us is Saurabh Gadgil, Chairman and MD of PNG Jewellers. We will also have Prithviraj, MD of Riddisiddhi Bullions of RSBL. And we will, of course, be joined by Ajoy Chawla at Titan. But Suvankar, I want to come to you first. And we've seen very strong gains come in for the gold prices. Do you see that denting the buying this time around? Or is it the usual euphoria? Because people do believe in the custom of buying gold today.
What we are seeing is that there have been two kinds of customers. At one end, a lot of wedding buying, with weddings in the future, people are utilizing their old gold, they're exchanging their old gold and they're buying heavier wedding jewelry or for their personal consumption. That has been one very positive sign, especially even at these high price levels. And at the other end, we are seeing that consumers, there is an impact in terms of volumes. People are wanting to buy something for the auspicious season, but something of a token amount, something within their budgets. So 30,000, 50,000, 70,000 rupees, lighter weight jewelry. So there are these two kinds of customers that we are seeing in the market. But overall, with Akshaya Tritiya in mind and the last 1 month that we have seen, consumers are positive towards the commodity. They are very happy somewhere that the prices have gone up so much. The trust on the metal has gone up. However, I think they are very much confused with the price volatility and they are wanting the price to stabilize, and it's impacting volumes for sure. So this is the situation that we are seeing in the market.
Saurabh, what is your sense? Are you also looking at smaller ticket size doing better than the larger bridal jewelry, or is it different, any different in Maharashtra?
I think Maharashtra, we are seeing good footfall right from the start. We opened early morning, 9 o'clock. And I think till the first half, when I took a toll at 2 p.m., we were almost on the lines of Gudi Padwa. So I would say that it's been a very good start, being a working day, also being summertime here. Footfalls have been good. ticket values have shrunk a little bit, but people interest in gold, gold jewelry, gold coins remain strong. Silver has been outlier this Akshaya Tritiya. Silver coins have been on fire, and with the whole optimism around silver prices looking heading northward, there's a lot of interest in also silver coins being bought today. But I think overall we are happy with the way things have shaped out till now. And the second half, from 5 p.m. to night 11 p.m. is going to be a very important time, because that's when the Mohra is also going to be there. Plus, people will come out in big numbers to shop. So all in all, we're looking at a very good Akshaya Tritiya. People's faith in gold, people faith that this is a good price to enter the market and things look bullish henceforth, is what is playing on people's mind. And like Suvankar mentioned, yeah, 50-60% shopping, wedding shopping is happening with exchanging old gold for new. But I think that's again a trend, because prices have gone up, budgets are under constraint. But I think the market looks good, and I'm talking to people pan India. I think it's the same story everywhere, that things are looking good, and there's a lot of optimism around Akshaya Tritiya.
Well, there is buying happening, and people are buying more silver than gold, is what we do understand. And as you said, the ticket size clearly seems to have shrunk right now. So, Suvankar, this one is to you. While we do understand that we're looking at lower ticket size, but are we also looking at lower caratage this time around? Because we do know people liked to buy 23 and 22 carats. Rarely in last 5 or 6 years, we've heard 18 or 14 carats being spoken about, unless until now.
So, one thing that has happened this particular, I would say, last 2-3 months is that the demand for diamond jewelry has gone up. And along with that, people are wanting to experiment 18 karat plain gold jewelry, especially for designs which are more modern, more Western, something for the daily wear. So, 14 karat and 18 karat for diamond jewelry. So if we look at in terms of volumes, if value-wise gold prices have gone up, you will see that the value-wise growth has been quite high, because gold prices itself is up by 20-25%. Volume-wise, if we really look and go deep into it, we will see that the diamond jewelry growth in the last 1.5, 2 months have been much higher compared to the gold price growth in terms of volume. So I think, yes, this high price is influencing the customer that, yes, this is a time that they can buy diamond jewelry, lower caratage, 18 karat, 14 karat gold. So this is something which is in trend. And I think we as jewelers have to ensure that that demand of the consumer is fulfilled.
Saurabh, I also want to come to a point that Suvankar mentioned earlier on, that the exchange jewelry really seems to be doing quite well. During Akshaya Tritiya as well, do you see that big number coming in, or is it more fresh buying given the auspiciousness of the day?
No, I think the trend is towards swapping new for old.
Okay.
In Akshaya Tritiya, when you see wedding shopping, a lot of shopping is already done by pre-booking. People have come and placed orders, so the gold already has been given at a time of placing orders. So today, if you look at one single day, you'll find a lot more fresh shopping happening. So today, I think the ratio would be 80-20. 80% would be fresh shopping, and 20% would be old gold, which on average for last 2 months has been 60% old gold, 40% new gold. So I think today's thing is that people want to purchase something new and get it home. It's auspicious. It's considered to bring you luck. So be it gold, be it silver, even if it's a small quantity, people want to buy something fresh today and take it home.
Suvankar, this one is to you, and the World Gold Council report that came in today, and that is what we are reacting to. So when you look at the first quarter of this year, the Indian gold demand saw a 15% decline. The Indian jewelry demand saw even higher 25% of a decline. Do you see that that buying now coming in for this quarter? Because the last quarter clearly did not have any festivals, not auspicious days, no weddings as well. So that perhaps, and of course the prices were high and volatile. Do you see now some stability coming in for the markets, and we see buying picking up now?
I would say that, this World Gold Council report gives a very clear reflection that the increase in gold prices might, make us see that the value-wise growth looks very good numbers, but the volumes have taken a hit. And this 20-25% degrowth in terms of volumes, I think that in the last 1 month, gold prices have moved up higher than what it was in the month of, say, March. So this 20-25% degrowth in volume will continue to happen. So yes, during Akshaya Tritiya, we will end up having a growth of, say, 15%, 20%. But in terms of volumes, it will always be a challenge. Consumers are coming, as Saurabh has said, that he's focusing on certain value propositions. But in general, if you look at the industry, people have been giving offers. People are giving discounts on the gold rates or making charges. But Along with that, all big brands are focusing on the new design collections that they are launching. They're trying to connect with their old customers and bringing that relationship aspect of it so that the service remains constant. But yes, the volumes will be under pressure because of the high gold price.
Saurabh, when it comes to jewelry versus investment, what are you looking at this point in time when it comes to Akshaya Tritiya? Because we've seen during Akshaya Tritiya, people usually tend to buy jewelry because it's something that you can invest and wear it as well. But with the gold prices, the way they've run up, trying to, curb onto the making charges, do you see more investment buying rather than jewelry buying?
Yeah, I think on any festive day, typically 70-30, 70% is jewelry buying, 30% is investment demand, which is bars and coins. This time, I think it'll be 60-40, 60% would be jewelry and 40% would be bars and coins, primarily investment demand, which I think is quite natural because people also want to invest some of the surplus in gold. So I think this will be incremental demand, which will come up for people who wouldn't have invested in gold in other circumstances. So I think on the jewelry side, the numbers should be good. Investment demand is very high, and I think that will continue because the whole outlook towards gold. If you read any media right now, there's a lot of talks on gold reaching 4,000, and even today, a man on the street is talking on gold crossing 1,10,000. So these numbers is what is driving the whole frenzy for people to invest in gold, and I think is going to play out very well on this Akshaya Tritiya day.
Well, there definitely is a decline in volume, as we understand from our jewelers, but there is a high in value sense when it comes to this Akshaya Tritiya. Well, thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining in. With that, we'll go for a break. But coming on the other side, we speak to Ajoy Chawla, CEO of Titan's Jewellery Division, on demand and growth outlook for the organized players. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to our special broadcast on Akshaya Tritiya. Joining us now is Mr. Prithviraj Kothari. He's MD at Riddisiddhi Bullion. Mr. Kothari, thank you so much for joining us to CNBC-TV18. What we understand until now really is that the markets are looking at higher exchanges instead of fresh buying. And then there is more investment buying rather than jewelry buying. And people are buying more silver rather than gold. How are you looking at the market?
Right now in the Akshaya Tirthiya, because of the higher prices, no, it's almost all-time high prices. So people are exchanging jewelry, or they before book the price or EMI. So only today they take the delivery on auspicious day. And second thing, in south side is still demand is good, but north and the west side and the east side is a very poor demand. Basically, if you see in the market, only the coin or maybe bar demand is there, but not so heavily. People are, instead of buying 10 gram, they're buying 5 gram or maybe 2 gram. But overall, but still the day is there too much hot in the the
Yes.
in the too much hot in the city. No, everywhere is the hot. The temperature is too high. Maybe in the evening session, people are rushed to the showrooms and everywhere. So I think maybe Akshaya Tritiya is not so good compared to the last year, but obviously I think 30 to 40% maybe drop down. But in the volume it's a drop down, but the value is the same.
Mr. Kothari, what is your sense going forward? Where do you see the gold prices by, let's say, next Akshaya Tritiya?
It's too difficult to say about that. But I think if you see the long term, I think prices move higher. Long term is I am the bullish is still the gold. But after the Akshaya Tritiya, too much, I think is the big correction is there. The waiting for the correction after the 3,000, it's a come to 3,500. So we are waiting for comes around 85 to 87,000. But next year, I think it should be cross over 1 lakh, 1,10,000 rupees per 10 gram. So I am bullish. Long term, I am bullish because it's still too much tension, geopolitical tension, de-dollarization, Trump tariff. So many things are because their central banks are still buying. So we can't say, but long term is a bullish, and slowly if price is stable 85, 87,000, then Indian demand should be there. Now if you see the discount rate are very comes down also in India. If its price is stable around 3,200 or 3,115, then import import again started.
Mr. Kothari, a lot of people have been betting on silver. What is your sense, one, on silver prices? And do you think that silver will outperform gold in sales for this Akshaya Tritiya?
Yeah, I think that today the silver price is coming lower, almost $1 already down in the international market. I think silver long term is too much bullish. I am in the 3 years, almost 2.5 lakh silver prices I'm watching, and if you see the silver stocks in the London or everywhere, the silver is deficit now. In 2025 also, the silver is deficit compared to the last year also deficit. So I think silver long term is bullish. People are smartly buying silver because it's too cheaper, and if you see the ratio is above 100, so people are smartly buying more silver compared to the gold. So I think it's the best option to buy silver or invest in the silver, because the auspicious day you can buy gold or you can buy silver. It's both are the same. So I think people more buying silver.
Fair point that. Mr. Kothari, thank you so much for joining in at CNBC TV18. That's the clue coming in from Mr. Prithviraj Kothari, that there's more exchange happening and you could be looking at gold volumes declining by 30 to 40%. I mean, that's a big number they're coming in. But value-wise, of course, we could perhaps still be the same, because we've seen prices gain up by 40% in the last 1 year. We are now joined by Ajoy Chawla. He's CEO at Titan Jewellery Division. Ajoy, thank you so much for joining in. And everybody seems to be talking about a lakh rupees at 10 grams in sense of gold. People who are buying it, bought it, holding it. What is your sense? It's a big milestone. How do you see the current prices?
What do I say? Gold is a magical commodity, and in the last several years, it's become even more magical. It has a life of its own, and there are so many forces at play. At 1 lakh per 10 grams, 995 purity, I think it's a milestone. And certainly, it is high on everybody's mind, as you said. It's virtually impossible to predict, at least not for me. Maybe there are magicians and astrologers and economists out there who can predict. I cannot predict. All I want to tell you and the viewers is that ultimately, remember, gold is a commodity. While it has seen an rising thrust over the last several years, it has been unprecedented. And but eventually all things do settle down over a period of time. Now, what is that period of time? We don't know. So don't get totally caught up in that world. But yes, at this point in time, it is high. Will it remain high? Will it go up further? Will it come down? Anybody's guess. I cannot be a predictor of gold price. All I can say is gold is very high on everybody's mind, young, old, new age, traditional, modern, whichever way. Every customer is very keen on gold, and it is evident as I see it, even let's say our entire last financial year as well as the last quarter, and even now in the first 2-3 weeks of April, the sales of gold coins continue to lead growth by a distance, and that indicates the high interest in this category, even as other asset classes perhaps have been a little more muted or volatile.
Ajoy, so you're saying that with gold near all-time highs, it's the coins which are doing better as an investment?
I think this is the coins have seen a secular growth over the last 3-4 years. It's not a recent phenomena. It's grown up steadily in contribution. It has been leading growth. But yes, therefore, there's a greater interest in gold as an investment. But there is also enough interest in jewelry because gold has been going up. So it's a two-edged sword. When it goes up rapidly and very suddenly, customers get spooked. And then, if it's been rising at such an unprecedented rate, almost 29% in the last 3.5 months, and if I consider from October, it's also 32% or something to that effect. Obviously, customers are spooked, and it does affect buyers, especially in the everyday gold in the sub 100,000 price segment. And it does therefore build some softness into the sentiment amongst that class of customers. But we see, on the other hand, the higher grammage and the higher value gold segments continuing to see robust buyer growth. So it works both ways. And in a way, what may be lost or soft on buyer growth is made up on ticket size growth, and ultimately total value growth is what we measure. So it is not just coins. Even for gold jewelry, we are seeing growth. When I'm talked about these higher and lower price bands, that was more in the gold jewelry segment, not so much in coins. Coins across segments and across price points are growing very well.
Ajoy, would you say that the markets have now digested 1 lakh rupees levels, and such sudden surge basically was last seen in 2015, then 2020, and now in 2025? How has history really played out with these high price surges?
Difficult to digest. Really, it's a tough one because it's a big milestone. It is a psychological milestone. We will know whether the Indian customer has been able to digest in the next 1 week, because it is Akshaya Tritiya time, it is festive time. Every person looks at, because this is a time where also very good offers are there. It's auspicious to buy. There is a fantastic wedding season ahead. Last year, we didn't have a Lagan season in Q1. Plus, there were elections this year. That's not there. So all the other factors are very good for buying, and therefore there's a high interest. In fact, the inquiries on our website, particularly the gold rate part of the page on the website, has gone up 3x between March and April itself. That indicates customers are very keen to buy, but they're waiting to see what happens to the gold rate, especially a large percentage of customers in the, who are looking at a lower price point. So the interest is very, very high. And whether they will come in and buy or whether the market may correct a little bit, even a small correction, could trigger a gold rush in my mind. So we don't know. It's very uncertain. All I can say is we are prepared for growth, so that if something like this happens where customers come in a big way, we are ready, we are not stocked out, and we will like to ride that wave. But so far, it's not bad. I would think it's more a ticket size led growth that we would imagine if the gold rate remains high or continues to go up.
Well, I can understand the uncertainty, but Mr. Chawla, we do understand that Titan and various other jewelers have been launching new collections to lure buyers. Are these new offerings picking pace? Do you see customers exchange gold for new pieces of gold jewelry, or are they preferring to buy new?
Yeah, before I come to exchange, Manisha, I think your question refers to a larger point. How are we solving for customers' problem of high gold rate? So we have decided that in this very high gold rate regime in Akshaya Tritiya festive period, let us focus on solve versus selling. Selling is an outcome, solving is what we need to focus on. So what we have decided to do is a host of things. One is, of course, exchange. Exchange has been steadily going up over the years as a contribution. And every year we are seeing a small 1%, 2% gain in contribution, which means the sales through exchange are growing at a faster rate than the overall brand and the business growth rate that we are seeing. Even in this quarter, we expect it to be very high, especially in festive. We have also launched an offer to enable customers. So one is we are making people aware. More and more people are now aware of exchange and the clean, transparent practice of exchange that Tanishq offers. So we have launched an offer which is saying that any gold, even from another jeweler, which is 20 carats and upwards in purity, there will be no deduction. It will be 100% value for the gold content of the jewelry. So that's a current offer to make it sweeter. The second solve that we are doing is the best gold rate offer. Many times customers during this period, at least in the run-up, are confused. Should I buy now? Should I buy later? What will be my gain or loss? So to take that out of the equation, we have offered customers best gold rate. You will get the lower of the two rates whenever you book. And that we have seen increasing interest. We started this 2 years ago in a small way. Last year, we really expanded it for both the festive periods. This year, we are ready with a much larger quantum because we need to plan. Since we don't take a position on gold, we ensure that we make an estimate on how much gold may come in for exchange and take option on it and hedge ourselves completely.
Well, those are a couple of great schemes that Titan is coming out with. But as Ajoy tells us, that 1 lakh is a milestone, a magic number. And well, yes, consumers are finding it difficult to digest it at this point in time. Thank you so much, Ajoy, for joining us here on Akshaya Tritiya. And with that, it's a wrap on this special Akshaya Tritiya broadcast. More news and updates on the other side.